At this very moment, right now, you could be embarking on a voyage of discovery and profound personal change. Instead, you're listening to the Thinking Hardly podcast.
We're like a rocket ship.
This election was rigged.
We're like a third world country.
We're like a rocket ship.
We're like a third world country.
Take a look at the numbers.
Hello.
Hello. Good. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. How are you? Well, wait,
You have to keep doing that. Good time for that. Just keep repeating that. Good.
Yeah. I'm still doing good, And how are you?
Let me check. Still fine. I'm all good. We get started like almost an hour late. I was trying to make some crackers from sourdough discard, and it turned into this whole thing. I left it in the fridge too long. So you take sourdough. You know what sourdough discard is?
I don't.
Wait. Yeah. Well, when you make sourdough bread, you have the starter, right? It's like, and you feed it every day. It's just like, it's kind of like it's a natural yeast, basically. It's a yeast and a bacteria mixed together, and you have to feed it. And so you feed it every day, and so that it'll keep doubling if you just keep feeding it. So you have to remove part of it. So I take that part out and I store it. That's the discard, and you can use that with a little bit of flour and some oil and seasoning to make sourdough crackers. So I made the dough the other day and put it in the refrigerator, and you're supposed to leave it in for like 24 hours maximum. And it was like 5 days ago, and it's still living, right? So this thing is just like almost bursting out of this cellophane or saran wrap or whatever, plastic wrap. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I tried to wrangle it into crackers, and it was fighting me. I mean, it finally made crackers, but it's my fault we're behind. And then you guys needed to caffeinate and all that business. So how's everybody doing? You guys good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you.
Still fine. All right. How's Danica?
She's doing good.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the tough time when everything's,
Yeah, we got a couple of months probably of some rough stuff, but everybody's healthy right now. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into it. It's been a week, and I don't know if it's going to slow down. I mean, every day I try to make some notes about what we could talk about. So these are slightly organized by topic. So the first is there's more news from the world of Grandmaster Tooty G. That's what I'm calling him, Rudy Giuliani. Okay.
Yeah.
So Rudy tested positive. He was hospitalized. He got the same treatment as President Trump, and about he's like 3 days and he's good to go. So whatever the magic juju combo monoclonal hoo-ha seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, too bad they can't do it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. His sidekick, Jenna Ellis, that's I mean, she is a lawyer, but I don't know if I can't quite remember what the deal is. I don't think she's licensed to practice in most places, I think. She tested positive as well. I don't think she's in the hospital. And then, believe it or not, thank goodness, we got some follow-up from Melissa Carone. Remember her from last week?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, you can't. She's the one. She's like the star witness.
Oh, she's that. Sorry, I'm getting her mixed up with Jenna Lewis.
Yeah, no, Jenna Ellis is the lawyer, and Melissa. And I found out her name is pronounced Corona, just like coronavirus.
That's rough.
So she did I'm so thankful. I've never been so thankful for TMZ in my life. She did an interview. Here we go. Here's the question. We're like only the top-notch news sources. Here we go.
There's a lot of people who are saying some not so nice things about you, speculating that you may have been drinking at the hearing.
I wasn't drunk. I mean, I
Come on.
would swear under oath that I wasn't drunk.
I love it. Look, I hear it again. He asks if she's been drinking. She wasn't drinking. Giggles.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are saying some not so nice things about you, speculating that you may have been drinking at the hearing.
I wasn't drunk. I mean, I would swear under oath that I wasn't drunk.
Yeah, that's the thing. She'd swear on oath under anything about anything.
Yeah, that's true. I could do that. Yeah. That's easy.
All right. So she was there at this hearing, right? So Rudy Giuliani is like sitting right next to her, shedding virus, right, and spewing it all over the place, dripping down the side of his face.
Oh, God.
Here's that. Listen.
Are you concerned now, and are you going to get a test?
I'm not concerned at all. No.
Carone says she has no intention of going into quarantine, defying a county health department mandate announced yesterday that anyone who did not wear a face covering during the proceedings must quarantine.
Okay.
Oh, no, man.
All right. Were you drinking? I wasn't drunk. I'll sign something. I got to go. I'll go to prison if I do. All right. So there's an announcement, and then she's bathing in I don't know, Giuliani virus or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So but it just gets. I mean, this is like a. Here we go. Listen, there you go.
Carone is also shedding light on her criminal history. In 2018, she was charged with obscenity for allegedly emailing sexually explicit videos to her fiance's ex-wife, Jessica Stackpool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
Just listen again. There's a lot going on here.
Carone is also shedding light on her criminal history. In 2018, she was charged with obscenity for allegedly emailing sexually explicit videos to her fiance's ex-wife, Jessica Stackpool.
Yo, staking a claim.
There were 3 different video clips. They're approximately 3 to 7 minutes long.
That's Ms. Stackpool.
That does not sound to me like the actions of somebody who drinks a lot.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That was calculated. That was very calculated.
No, that sounds like somebody who drinks all the time. Okay, last little clip.
Carone pled guilty to a lesser charge, which was dismissed earlier this year after she completed probation. Did Rudy Giuliani and his team know about this whole sex tape allegation before bringing you onto the stand?
I don't know that to be a factor. I don't know. They never said anything.
Yeah, we can be pretty sure.
I mean, Donald Trump is the president that they're all working for.
No one would care,
Yeah, this is your point, right, Bobby?
Yeah, who cares?
That's your point?
Sort of. I don't know. That is funny. It's just like,
all right.
It's the type of thing where if everyone was actually like, maybe we shouldn't fire him for that, it'd probably be a better world.
Okay, we're going to get serious now because your brother wants to get serious. All right, here we go.
No. We don't have to do that. I enjoy these serious.
That's no problem. Okay, coronavirus update. The FDA approved the Pfizer vaccine yesterday. Mark Miller, the chief of staff, gave Stephen Hahn, who's the commissioner of the FDA, a call and said, you either make this thing happen by the end of the day or pack up your boxes because you're going to get fired. So they did it. It's been approved for emergency use, which is good because the deaths are continuing to climb in the hospitals. The hospitals are under a fair amount of strain. In some better news, the U.S. bought an additional 100 million more Moderna vaccines. So right now there are really 2. Pfizer just got approved for emergency use. Moderna is the second messenger RNA vaccine. Both of those were extremely effective, and things look pretty good. So the administration that's going to provide a total of 300 million vaccines. Each person needs 2 vaccines, so that's 150 million vaccines. That's about half of the U.S. population. That's really, really good news. All right, that's the coronavirus. All right. Next up is Texas, who was getting all Texas-y during the week. So Texas asked the Supreme Court for permission to sue 4 battleground states in an attempt to force each of their state legislatures to produce their own slate of electors. Okay?
Yeah.
So Texas is asking the Supreme Court if they can sue these 4 battleground states, and really was just asking the Supreme Court to just basically say the whole thing is messed up. So the state legislatures in those swing states would get to pick the electors. And obviously, since these are Republican-driven states, those legislatures would presumably come up with their own slates of electors, okay? Texas was then joined by 18 other states, including your state, Missouri.
Wow.
Okay. Well over half of the Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives and a couple of other crackpots. New California State and New Nevada State. Have you heard of these? Have you heard of them?
I haven't. Are these just dropped?
Yeah, I mean, brand like hot off the press.
Okay.
There's no presses anymore. I don't know. These are pseudo states supported by movements that want to break the rural counties of California and Nevada away from urban counties. They also joined the Texas lawsuit, as did Donald Trump, who is still the president of the United States. Okay. Spokespeople for the proposed states, the new California state and the new Nevada state, claim their new states are, quote, suffering under many governmental usurpations, and that the governors of the actual states were engaged in lawless actions by permitting same-day voter registration. All of this is a big, so what? Because last night the Supreme Court declined to even hear the case, citing that Texas didn't have any legal standing to file suit. Okay? So that's pretty good. All right. After the Supremes said thanks but no thanks, y'all, the chairman of the Texas GOP, a dude named Alan West, suggested rounding up some other like-minded states and moseying on out of the US of A. Here's what he said.
Yeah, got you.
This decision establishes a precedent that says states can violate the U.S. Constitution and not be held accountable. Perhaps law-abiding states should bond together and form a union of states. Union, that's with a capital U, by the way.
Oh, that's serious.
Abide by the Constitution.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is like Republican Russiagate.
Yeah,
get ready for a lot of this shit. This is exactly. I mean, this is every 4 years we're going to see this from now on.
Oh, I think it's going to be more than every. Yeah, well, I guess that's right. I mean, you can't do it. I guess once it's all done. Okay, all right. Texas State Representative Kyle Biedermann floats the idea of Texit. Like Brexit.
It's catchy.
Yep.
It's catchy.
Yeah, I mean, it's got that going for it. I mean, look at the branding.
Yeah,
he wants to ask voters to decide by referendum whether Texas should secede from the union. So I want to do something a little different here, right? I want us to take a minute to get to know the next king of Texas, Kyle Biedermann. All right, I've sent our robot reporters out to produce a little, like a 2-minute deal introducing
I'm
us.
excited.
Here we go. Here comes our robot reporters.
Kenneth Kyle Biedermann, known as Kyle, is a Republican member of the Texas House of Representatives for District 73, which encompasses counties in the eastern portion of the Texas Hill Country. Biedermann owns and operates a hardware store within the district. He has an A+ rating from Empower Texans, the Texas Rifle Association, and Texas Right to Life. Among other things, he voted to withhold all public benefits from undocumented immigrants. He's also been criticized for dressing up as gay Hitler for a fundraiser. Has got him into a bit of hot water with Texas voters. When questioned about this by a constituent in an email, here's how he responded.
Thanks for your interest in my campaign. The explanation is simple. It was a fundraiser for the Food Pantry and the Needs Council with about 400 people with a Saturday Night Live theme. The costumes are supposed to be outrageous, and mine certainly was. Gay Hitler was a Saturday Night Live character from the show, which of course is a spoof. I am not gay and never have been. Don't know about swingers clubs and no desire to find out. I have an amazing wife.
He does. Kyle's wife's name is Barbi. That's with an I. She has an Instagram account, and it's got the pictures you might imagine from a Barbie with an I, who is married to a hardware store-owning Texas politician.
I love this
flowers, dogs, Barbie firing a handgun at a shooting range, multiple pictures of her standing next to life-size cardboard cutouts of Donald Trump, and lots of references to Bible verses. For example, one post showed a picture of a field. Off in the distance is a cross that she circled in red. She wrote,
I'm out running on this beautiful Sunday morning. I looked ahead and saw this cross in the field up ahead. It reminded me of God's love. Let us run to the cross. Jesus said,
Come to me, All you who are weary and burdened, I will give you rest.
What a beautiful bit of scripture from Texas. Unless you are an undocumented immigrant in Kyle Biedermann's vision of the United States of America. If that's the case, then I suppose that there's a brown Jesus waiting to give you rest when you go back to where you came from.
Come on.
There you go. Pretty good job by the robots, don't you think?
That was
I like
amazing.
that Jesus sounded like Charlton Heston.
Yeah, well, that's Ned. That's our robot that introduces us every week.
Okay, awesome.
He played the role of
He
Jesus.
sounds
there.
like.
Yeah, very good. Wow. Maybe we don't need a robot anymore. We're gonna
I am Jesus.
Wow. Is that Bob?
Yeah, that's
Can I
me.
ask you some questions?
Yeah. We just use you. I don't have to go to all this trouble of getting the robot to say what I wanted to say. All right.
That was fantastic.
Okay, one more thing. Here's another little bit of Texas seceding. Okay, about secession. This is from Rush Limbaugh. You guys heard of Rush Limbaugh?
Oh yeah,
I have. Familiar.
Yeah, he's still alive. Here's what he has. Listen.
I've referenced this. I've alluded to this a couple of times because I've seen others allude to this. I actually think that we're trending toward secession. I see more and more people asking, what in the world do we have in common with the people who live in, say, New York? What is there that makes us believe that there is enough of us there to even have a chance at winning New York?
You're not going to win New York. That's Rush. He doesn't sound so good, does he?
No, I mean, he was the one with like the pill problem, right?
No, but he's got lung cancer. I mean, I think he's terminally ill, actually.
I think you might be thinking of Jordan Peterson.
No, not Jordan Peterson. It was one of the.
Rush did have a pill problem.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
You're right. No, Rush did have he had some sort of I don't know if it was
painkiller or something.
I think it was an opioid thing, and I think it led to a significant amount of hearing loss. I think he's got
I think that's right.
a cochlear implant or something like that. Cochlear implant. Anyway, okay. So there's that one, and then here's a little more Rush.
A lot of bloggers have written extensively about how distant and separated and how much more separated our culture is becoming politically. And that it can't go on this way. There cannot be a peaceful coexistence of two completely different theories of life, theories of government, theories of how we manage our affairs. We can't be in this dire a conflict.
Yeah.
Without something giving somewhere along the way.
Okay, so now, so what do you make of this? Is there anything to this?
Well, I think there's absolutely like the feeling around that there's like this kind of level of polarity or whatever you want to call that. I mean, I think it's just like people don't really, I guess, haven't really thought of it beyond that. And, you don't run into like all kinds of problems that we just kind of take for granted, I guess, obviously, like if you were actually to go about doing this. But yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I think we've talked about this before, but I think like some actual good, meaningful, like materialistic changes or some policy that affects people positively, regardless of what side they're on, would be a way to kind of maybe cut down on some of the bigger kind of polarizing feelings. But other than that, I really don't know what the solution is, because it does seem like it's in politicians' interest to continue like culture war stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I can see why. I mean, it definitely weighs on some people. To me, we haven't really like I think there's probably some people in older generations who really remember some time where it didn't feel so combative or whatever, and that's what they're trying to get back to. For me, I think it's always been pretty combative. Just we grew up kind of around the Iraq War, and everything, was pretty combative then in terms of politics. So we haven't really at least I haven't really experienced any kind of time where it was like people were really getting along politically. But I don't know. So it doesn't affect me as much. I'm not,
Yeah,
but I'm sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think even before that, I mean, it was Clinton, and it's just been a descent of more kind of I think circumstances make it so that people are more desperate about the way that they interact with this stuff, because it's not just, it seemed very disconnected, I think, for most people in the past from their day-to-day life. And now it's this is actually pretty important.
Yeah. I mean, what do you make of this two theories of life, two theories of government? That's basically what he said. They're just so starkly different that there's no way to make them, there's no way to get them to jive or to get, extract value out of, the tension or the push and the pull or whatever.
I don't think they're actually that different, honestly. I think most of the stuff is these cultural things. I don't know, unless they're really talking about some very kind of hard right, kind of theology kind of influenced stuff where it's legitimately changing a lot of stuff, maybe a full ban on abortions, unless it's, whatever, something more in that line. Then I would be like, okay, well then there's some, some core differences in what you actually want. It's hard to tell what people actually want and what, I guess, is being said by very vocal kind of small groups who are very passionate about things.
Bob, do you think that do you think that they're a mountains being made out of a molehill of differences when it comes to, values or culture? Or do you think there's something here?
I mean, I think there's definitely severe differences in the culture. The thing is that there's plenty of countries that are like that, and that it's okay because that's not the center of their culture. I think the bigger thing is that everyone is constantly pushed into a state of tension by the fact that politics are the way they are here. And that leads them to, make all kinds of ridiculous sort of claims and things, because it's what they're really seeing is that what they want and what they are trying to do has no effect on the actual politics. The right and the left, a lot of the time they do want similar things, but there's no avenue for them to express that through politics because there's a wall in the way. And that's, I think, the bigger thing is the people that would vote Democrat but are have been sort of spurned and things like that. They are angry for a good reason. And the people on the right that are well, you guys aren't doing what we want you to do. They are angry, and it's not for necessarily a bad reason. Mm-hmm. The thing is that we don't get to have a government that works like a normal government of people compromising between their beliefs and reality. We have something that is a full control of what you get to believe is reality, and they're going to act however they're going to act regardless of that. And then, post doing that, then they're going to explain how it works to you.
Yeah, the part that I found, I'm still not sure exactly why the wall's there, but I agree with you. The part that I'm not so sure I swallow. He said two theories, right? Two theories of life, two theories of government. But there's also this other issue of just facts. right? I mean, it seems, and I'm not saying like the left is always evidence based and the right is never evidence based. I mean, I'm not saying that. There are a lot of people that just shoot from the hip and they just, like it's our guy and that we're gonna, our girl or a woman or whatever, we're gonna support them. So there's plenty of behavior and advocacy that's detached from evidence. So that's not really what I meant. I just meant, I've been having these ongoing conversations with people that I know on Facebook, like a woman that I went to high school with, and she just can't get her mind around the lack of evidence about voter fraud. I mean, she just can't, and she keeps telling me I'm not getting the full picture. I need to check out these other sources, and the sources are all like Newsmax and OANN and wild stuff. The fact that courts have repeatedly said there's not enough here. I mean, there just isn't even enough to get started here. Doesn't mean anything to her, and I'm not picking on her. It's just this is a person I had the most interaction with, and so there's one one axis is like what are our theories of life and theories of political theories, and then the other is like how much are you willing to suspend reality, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of this is due to like just deep distrust of the government, and maybe that's something that would change if they got like their own country and thought their own government was like 100% on their side or something. Like they would have more trust in decisions even if they didn't go their way. But I mean, it's also like everybody just kind of has this in them where it's like, well, I'm gonna search out the sources that support whatever I'm already kind of thinking, and it is, I don't know how pro-Trump this woman is or anything like that, but there was so much I know, and after 2016 there was so much well, what can the Supreme Court could do this, the Electoral College could decide to do this, or so there's always this kind of like this kind of, I don't know what stage of the cycle of acceptance this is, or whatever, cycle of grief, but yeah, I'm sure this is pretty natural to just kind of I think it's becoming clearer and clearer that there's no way that Trump is going to be able to pull anything off. So, I think that people are just going to trying to cope with it their own way.
What's the wall, Bob? What creates the wall between the two sides that, can't get stuff done?
I was talking about a wall in terms of from keeping you from exerting any control over your political fortunes. That's what I mean.
I see.
Which is, it's, that's both sides do it. That's partly what I mean, though, is you see them doing things that deny reality over and over, like the government, the news, the good news companies, things like that. Like they do similar stuff in a way that is more acceptable and less verifiably false. That this is partly what I mean. I think this is what allows you to get to a state where you're just like, oh, facts don't matter at all. Like this is all just made up, and like they can make anything seem not real. Like this is
right.
That's what I mean. It's like we can't just talk about these people like they just decided to be, unrealistic.
Yeah,
like the media landscape has primed them to be like this.
Yeah.
By putting out, I mean, all these headlines, if you read them all together, they don't make any sense. And
they often don't. They often don't really reflect the the article that follows them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're more. What would you say? They're more clicky. I mean, they're more
sensationalized, or whatever.
Sensational. That's the word I was looking for.
But I don't think that's the problem either, is sensationalism. I think there is just like a sort of knowing, like, I think the media has a role to play in the fact that basically everyone either feels like they can't do anything, even if they could do anything, nothing would change. Like, basically, I think all of this stuff works because people think that they can't do anything about it, they can't change it. And, that's not false. Like, a lot of the time we can't change these things. But I think a big part of what makes it so that that's true is the fact that everyone is told that constantly. Like, this is just the way it is.
Yeah.
Or, this is actually the truth. And it's, I don't know.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, I guess part of this is, do you think if there's, some serious insurgents, you know what I mean? I think you've convinced me that civil war is like really extremely difficult to pull off. You have to fracture the military for that to work, right? I think you made that case before. But you could have insurgencies. I mean, you could have a lot of troublemakers, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's likely to rise out of the right, given that Trump is on his way out? But secondly, I do think the skepticism, the sense that this is, that there are evil forces at play, and that this, like, the country itself is up for grabs right now. Do you think it's likely that we're going to see something like that?
I mean, to an extent,
Trump keeps saying he's going to pull a rabbit out of his hat, and it's not happening. And in the meantime, he's just basically. I mean, if any other country was saying this, it'd be interfering with elections. You have somebody calling legislators saying, "I want you to, can't you do something? I want you to do something. Meet with me. I'll have you guys all over for lunch, and we'll talk about what we can do." I mean, It does seem like it's pretty. I don't know.
That's what I mean, though. It's bad. And this is the best that we're gonna get is like, people wagging their finger at this guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just, it's just like one of those things where you really can't defend anyone involved in any of this on any side at all. It's like, I do believe that the Democrats, engage in some sort of unfair electoral tricks. I don't think, like, enough to make a significant difference, especially in like a general election. But like, yes, I think both the sides are committing as much electoral fraud as possible in every other way that's been sort of accepted as okay. It's like, that's the one thing that you can't do, but everything else is totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there would be a lot of evidence to the contrary of what you just said. I mean, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the findings in the courts have to do with, like, could this possibly wipe out 20,000 votes? Could this possibly wipe out 140,000 votes? We've talked about that. I mean, it becomes extremely difficult. You've got tons and tons of ballots that have to be moved around in ways that people can't see, or you have to fiddle with the software, which is what Sidney Powell was all about, her thumb drives in your back doors.
Yeah, and it gets harder, like, all the time. There's people, just private citizens now that have plenty of ways to just kind of look into where things are going, and I don't know, especially on the right side, there's like a lot of people I know that do a lot of, let's check this,
investigate.
Let's check out these pathways where these would be going or whatever. Yeah.
But none of the stuff in the courts. Yeah. None of the stuff in the courts, really says anything at all about what you were just saying, Bobby. Right? I mean, there's just stuff that happens every year, and it's kind of this low level, whatever shenanigans. It's not material to this, unless you're just a hard-nosed black and white, like they did bad things, so we got to start all over again. And I'm sure there are some of those people, and I think the people who are like that are in fact more likely to be on the right, have this sense of purity and disgust and that kind of stuff. Listen, here's the big question of the week, I think. I don't know. They're never that big, and there's many of them usually. So I don't know. So it seems clear to me now that Trump's, he's going to go, but he's never ever going to concede. I mean, he is never ever going to concede. It seems plausible that he'll run again for president in 2024, or at least set himself up for, some sort of position where he can pick somebody or anoint somebody who's going to win. He wants to still be the man, right? So here's the question. What are the chances, you think, that Trump will go so far as to mount what is essentially an opposition presidency from Mar-a-Lago, where he refers to himself as legitimate? I mean, he gets as close as he can to not getting into legal trouble. It doesn't have to be from Mar-a-Lago. I just said Mar-a-Lago.
It's definitely an interesting thought. I don't know. I don't know what you could do, and I think he's, no matter what, he's going to be some important figure. He's going to be an unofficial party leader. I mean that's
the big difference is whether or not he'll call himself president.
That's the question. I'm wondering how far he can go. Because norms are clearly they're not a big deal to him, right? And if he could, it seems like if he could get away with it, I mean, without getting what are they going to do to him anyways if he calls himself the president?
That's the thing. It's like
they're like the president in exile.
The president, I guess this president's administration has showed what are these guys really going to do? Nothing. And Biden's already said that he's not interested in kind of charging or, going after Trump or anything like that. So, I don't think they'd do anything. I think there'd be a whole lot of arms thrown up and people kind of making noise about him calling himself president, but I don't think anything real would happen.
Yeah, I don't know what could happen. I mean, what are they going to do? You can't.
Well, I mean, they still call President Obama, right?
Yeah,
that's exactly what you'd be hearing from all these people. That's so funny.
Yeah. So
Okay, so I'm going to say 20%. That's my number. I mean, I don't know how we'll know unless somebody says 0 or 100.
All right, how likely?
Yeah, no, I say 20%.
Yeah. Oh, I would say I would bet on him calling himself president. Maybe not as a habitual thing. But you
mean, opposition president in exile, resistance president.
He won't go that far. He won't go that far. That's the thing. He'll just say, "Hey, you guys know I'm the president, right?"
Exactly.
It'll be implied.
Yeah, he rides the line always, so it'll be something
distinct from how Obama refers to himself, or W.
Yeah, of course. But it's the same thing where it's you can't point out the difference to one of these people who's going to defend Trump. Because they're kind of doing it to piss you off if you're the kind of person who's gonna, no one if you're like me, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't care.
Yeah, I imagine him. I do imagine. I don't know what it would be to cross into the threshold of president in exile kind of thing, but I do imagine he's going to be sitting at a desk, presented kind of as an Oval Office, talking to a camera, saying, "This is President Trump." So, I mean, I think that is, that's what's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be outright I'm in control of the country or anything. But
all right. You talked me into it. I'm up to 99%. You heard it here first. To your podcast listeners, it's going to be a presidency in exile from Mar-a-Lago with a phony Oval Office. That's what we're betting on.
That's a thing to hardly lock.
It's going to be President Trump's TV hour or whatever.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay, well that's good. All right. Okay, here's a new segment, and then we'll move on to the game show portion.
Okay.
You guys ready? This is called "It Fell Through the Cracks."
Absolutely.
This is something that I forgot to bring up. This will be a place of things that I forgot to bring up in the past. Okay, this week it's televangelist Kenneth Copeland making his demands last March. Do you know who this guy is?
I think so. Is it the guy with the really bugged out eyes?
That you need to be a little bit more.
That could be right.
Hold on, I'm going to Google it. I think I'm right.
I think you know who it is.
Yeah, he looks kind of like undead or something,
Yeah, right. He's pretty old. He's pretty old. He's got Kenneth Copeland Ministries. He's from Texas. He identifies with the prosperity gospel, which basically is that, you know, if God is pleased with you, you'll be, you know, financially wealthy. He calls for people to donate to his church, suggesting that those who do will get 100-fold return on their investment. He's got you know, a tax exempt status, and he's used it to finance mansions and jets, and he's like his own airport and all this other stuff.
He's got some evil in his eyes if you look at these pictures.
Okay, here we go. So during the pandemic, he's like done all this stuff. He claimed that the pandemic had ended, or it was going to end soon, or he could cure people from the disease, and they just keep paying money if they lost their jobs that the pandemic had caused. And he claims to have destroyed the virus. Okay, but this is it. This is how he talks to the virus. Okay, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Check it out.
We'll exercise judgment right now.
Because we have...
In the name of Jesus.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
He's got a sidekick.
Whoa. Yeah.
In the office.
Hang on, let's go back. The sidekick's like trying to join in and like he gets the Jesus fever. Here we go.
I appreciate that. This is like
because we have...
In the name of Jesus.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
It reminds me of Alex Jones.
Standing in the office of the prophet of God, I execute judgment on you, COVID-19. I execute judgment on you, Satan, you destroyer, you killer. You get out. We break your power. You get off this nation. I demand judgment on you.
Here we go. Here's the big...
I demand a vaccination to come immediately.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is, a vaccination is like one person.
Oh, come on. We're going to split hairs with this guy who's yelling at God.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's yelling at Satan and COVID-19. Actually,
well, it's the same difference.
No, he's speaking for. He's the prophet of God in the office of the prophet. I don't know what the office of the prophet is.
That's so great.
Okay, here we go. This is when he starts to lose his stuff a little bit, and I mean, there's something actually kind of. I don't know. I don't mean to. I don't know. He's into it. He's into it here, and he loses his ability to speak clearly.
I call you done.
Done.
I call you gone.
I don't know what that means. I call you done.
I
call you done. You're done.
Yeah. You're trying to say both at the same time.
I call you gone.
He's trying to say done and gone at the same time.
What is he trying to say? Done.
He's trying to say both of them. He's dawn. He started saying done, and then he finished saying gone.
I thought he was trying to say long gone. Yeah, right. Okay, so there you go.
Gone.
That's it. It's 9 months later, but we do have a vaccine now, and for that we're grateful. We are really grateful. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready? Let's see.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. That's it.
Yeah, you got yeah. There they are.
There they are. Yeah. You know what that sound is. You know what that music means. It's time for I gotta find that. I gotta find a question. It's time for that tastes a little gamey. The game show portion of the quiz. I asked Gina if she wanted to participate. I asked Gina if she wanted to participate in the podcast. She said no. I said, "You want to participate in the quiz, like the game show, the fun part?" She said, "No, I do not want my voice out all over the world." And I said, "If you do not want your voice out all over the world, our podcast is the place to be." All right, here we go. She's safe. She would be safe here. We're all safe here. Let's see. I got to get a scorecard ready. Hang on a second. All right, we have the usual categories this week. I think, Billy, it's your turn to pick the first category. The categories are: you don't call, you don't write. That's something's missing. Her suit is too tight. That's facial hair or superheroes. Innocent until proven guilty pleasures. That's low to midbrow stuff that we like. Science friction. Might be science, might not. It's always nerdy. And frame that in the 70s edition because I love that music. Okay? Those are the categories.
All right.
All right.
Let's do science friction.
Science friction. Let's see. Billy and Bobby. If I had just named you guys different, if you had different names, I guess I could use an R and a W. Huh? Okay. Science friction. This is you, Bill. It's been a rough year so far, and a lot of people are starting to show emotional and mental wear and tear. The psychological test of human emotions and personality using ink blots is formally known as what?
A Rorschach test.
Good job, Billy. The Rorschach test. The Rorschach test, named after famed Swiss psychologist Hermann Test. See what I did there? Went in this direction and over to the left and bingo. Okay, 1 point for Billy. All right, Bobby, here's your science friction question. It's a multiple choice. What is a group of jellyfish called? A smucker, a smack, or a herd?
Huh.
We need like a little timer music or some thinking music.
Yeah.
I do that every week.
I thought it was school, but
a smucker, a smack, a herd.
I'm going to say a herd.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a smack. Okay.
Smack of jellyfish. Those are all made up anyway.
Smucker.
Yeah, I learned that.
Oh, those are made up?
Well, they're not
made up.
They're not technically like scientifically used.
No, bro. I'm sure
a scientist wouldn't say a smack of jellyfish.
I'm sure they're
No, that's what I mean. I thought those were like,
technical words.
Yeah, they're not technical terms at all.
Okay. All right. Well, your objection has been noted. But we've decided you don't have standing. Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
Right.
I guess.
We've gone to the judges and they said,
fight this off the air.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Okay. You don't call. You don't write. Something's missing. Her suit is too tight. Superheroes or facial hair. Innocent until proven guilty. Pleasures. Low to midbrow stuff that we like. Or frame that tune in the 70s edition because I love that music.
Let's do innocent until guilty pleasures.
Innocent until proven guilty pleasures. Halloween is in the rearview mirror, but that doesn't mean people still don't like their sweets. According to data collected by candystore.com in 2019, what is the favorite candy bar in these states? You will get 3 states, 1 point for each correct answer. Okay, you got it? I'm going to give you a state. You give me what you think is the top candy bar. Sorry, candy bar. It's important. Right, it's candy bar.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a state. You give me the candy bar. I'm going to give you another state. You give me the candy bar. Another state. You give me the candy bar, and you get 1 point for each of the ones you've gotten correct. Okay, here we go. Arizona. What's their favorite candy bar?
Lots of old people there.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot.
What'd you say?
And it's hot. You don't want something that's going to melt. No, I have
These all have chocolate. I mean, that's part of being a candy bar. Okay,
and I was going to say, so it's a bar. It's
barish, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bar.
Okay. Man, separating these out by the actual places, so I have to be right about them. I'll just say Kit Kats.
Okay, no, it's Snickers. Texas, which is soon not to be part of the United States.
Man, that really shook me. I don't know.
Was that too loud?
No, I was just saying. I was just saying that Snickers would be the one. That wasn't even on my list. I guess let's say Milky Way.
Sorry, it's Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
That's a candy bar. Okay.
That counts as a candy bar. The rest of these are all kind of candy. I mean, it'd be more like, conventional candy bars. Okay, Missouri.
I should know this one. I think I probably did see most Snickers or Milky Ways when I was trick-or-treating. I'll just say Snickers again. I don't know.
Oh, you were so close. It's Milky Way.
Man, I'm surprised by that.
This is tough. Okay, Billy, you ready? So, let me cross this off here. Okay, you ready, Bill?
Yes, sir.
Okay, California.
I'm going to say Snickers.
Nope. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Okay.
New Hampshire.
Oh, man, I got to keep on going with Snickers.
You got it. Snickers is correct. It's 2 for Boo. Okay, and the last one is Vermont.
I'm going to say Snickers again.
It's Milky Way. Okay, good job. All right, Billy, you're up. You don't call is that right? Yeah, that's right, isn't it?
What? You don't call you don't right?
No,
Bobby did. That's. I'm fine with you. You're right.
Okay. You don't call, you don't write. Her suit is too tight. Frame that tune.
You don't call, you don't write.
You don't call, you don't write. Okay, something's missing. This week, it's teeth. With the goal of improving public health, stuff is added to what we eat and drink. For example, vitamin D was originally added to milk to eradicate rickets in the U.S. Calcium added to OJ to help strengthen bones. Iodine was added to salt to prevent developmental issues in kids. Folic acid added to bread to reduce the risk of neural tube defects. I think that's right. So here's your question. What has been added to many public water supplies to reduce the risk of cavities?
Fluoride.
Ooh, that's right. Okay, Billy's 3-0. Oh, no, wait, Billy. Yeah, 3-0.
No, that's right.
You got 1 point last time, right? Okay, fluoride. Water supplementation may be less important than it used to be because fluoride is now added to toothpaste. Didn't you know that? I didn't know that. Okay, here we go. Bobby, your turn. You don't call, you don't write. Something's missing. This week it's teeth. And here's your question. Toothbrushing has been around for centuries and perhaps even thousands of years. Egyptians, for example, used twigs and leaves to clean their toothy pegs. As ancient as it are its roots, toothbrushing really didn't take off until the introduction of the toothpaste Pepsodent in the early 1900s. The key was an ingredient that created a tingling feeling that consumers associated with having a clean mouth. What was that ingredient?
I'm gonna guess menthol. I'm gonna give you
yes on that. It was sassafras or essence of mint. So I'm gonna say that. Okay, good job, Bobby. Okay, wait, hold on a second.
Oh.
Bobby's back in the hunt now. Okay, Bob. Your choice. Her suit is too tight. Superheroes or facial hair, or name that tune 70s edition because I love that music.
Let's do her suit.
Her suit is too tight. Okay, how many actors within 2, I'm going to say, how many actors have played Superman, either in film or TV, live action only? So no cartoons, no voiceovers, no radio, just film or TV, live action only. Within 2, how many actors have played Superman?
I'm going to say, let's say 6. I'm guessing there's one that I don't know of.
Sorry, man. It's 11.
It's 11. Wow.
Yeah. Kirk Allen, starting in 1948. George Reeves in 1951. David Wilson, like some spoof on TV, 1975. Christopher Reeve. John Hames Newton. Gerard Christopher, Dean Cain, Tom Welling, Brandon Ruth, Henry Cavill.
Wow.
Cavill?
Yeah. See, I knew like 4 or 5 of those. Yeah. And I just didn't realize how many old Superman movies there were. I guess I wasn't thinking about it.
When I looked this up, I was like, I would have guessed something like you guessed. Okay. All right. And that's why I asked the questions. Okay. Billy. Her suit is too tight. Superheroes' facial hair. Here's your question. On average, how many whiskers does the typical cat have? How many whiskers does a typical cat have on its upper lips total, excluding the whiskers above their eyebrows? On average, typical cat.
Typical cat.
Quick, grab a cat.
I'd say probably like.
Wait, hang on, hold on. Within 4.
Okay, probably like 18.
Oh.
Is it right outside of the range?
24.
I was going to do 20 first. Oh, no.
12 on each side. It's like 4 rows of 3 or 3 rows of 4 or something like that. Okay.
Oh, man.
These are tough.
That's rough.
These are tough questions. Okay. Billy, we're left with Frame That Tune. Here you go. 1970. You were quite young back then. Here's the question. Released in, I'm just going to play I don't even remember if this is the karaoke version or the completely illegal version. Released in 1973. Here it is. Let me know if you can.
No. It's Benny and the Jets.
What's that?
Benny and the Jets. Is that, what am I having? Are you waiting for that? There we go. Oh, yes. It does, yeah.
You got that one? Thank you. Okay. Good job. Bobby, this is just for, I don't know, it's like 4-1.
Yeah, this is just for fun.
Okay.
I lose this one.
You can tie it up. You can tie it up if you tell me the name of the song, the year it's released, and the artist.
All right. Wow.
Okay. And what color socks I'm wearing right now. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go. Okay, here you go.
I'm blanking on the name of this one. Oh yeah, okay. I don't know the year. I'm gonna say 1974. So that's probably wrong. But it's Old Man by Neil Young, I believe.
Whoa. Oh man, look at my life.
This is why this.
And so much more.
Yeah.
You're alone in the paradise. Made me think.
Neil Young's a cool guy.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Done. Okay. It was 1972, Bob. So,
yeah, that was close.
Billy, congratulations, Bill.
Oh, thank you.
Very good.
Okay. That's it. It's been another edition.
Hey, very nice. Oh my God. Beautiful. Very fun. That was good.
There you go. Okay.
Well, thank you,
All right.
Dad.
That's another one in the can.
Very nice.
Thanks, boys.
Well, thank you for,
Good to
we're
enter
a
the
little
game.
bit late on the
We
start.
still got an hour.
Well, that's all right. No, that's good. We did okay. All right, boys. What are you guys doing today?
I'm going to continue working on this. Move on to the next thing for this Twitch channel thing.
All right. Well, send me what you've done. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I sent you one kind of at the beginning of the podcast. So,
okay, fantastic.
In the box.
Bob, what are you doing?
Not a lot. I'm going to play some of this new video game.
Fantastic. You got your laundry done last week, so you're good for a couple of months now.
Well, we'll see.
That's the way I am. I just whistle to my socks. I'm like, come on over here, guys. I stand up in the corner. We've become completely roboticized. Did I tell you about this?
What do you mean?
Talking about
we got because Jesus had some trouble with her arm, and she's been very careful. I mean, she's been super good about rehabbing her shoulder and her bicep and her neck and all this kind of stuff. So she's usually the one who does a lot of the vacuuming. I do some of it, the tough stuff, and I'll haul the vacuum cleaner around. But we got 2 Roomba robots, iRobots, like robots. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they've kind of taken over. They've kind of taken over because you have to do all this stuff to make sure they don't break things. And, so whenever we go on a walk, we start up the 2 robots, Rosie upstairs and Mr. French downstairs.
Okay.
you have to kind of move the stuff around, and so one of the robots when we got home was like stuck. It's like sending us text messages, "Help, I'm stuck."
That's so funny.
"Help, I'm stuck." So he's stuck under the wardrobe here, and so I had to like create a little thing to block it. So you have to pick up the chairs, and we have to move the Barcelona chair, put these things up so they don't run them. And then I got to put this thing in and I told Gina, I said, we're doing more work than the robots. We're coddling the robots. And she's like, oh, it's like, that's a great name for a rock band, coddling the robot. Anyways, yeah, so that's been the big news here. The dogs seem okay. I mean, the dogs really hated the vacuum cleaner, but they seem okay with the robot. The cat is fascinated with the robot.
I'm sure,
man. Follows the robot around.
Has she sat on it yet?
No, that would be pretty good. If we come home and she's like
cruising around, yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen like cats do that before, and I always just like, if there's a cat that's chill enough to do that, that's so funny.
That's pretty good.
It's great though. You got to prep everything like they're little dogs or something.
Yeah, I mean, we spent a day raising the couch. Like making the legs longer on the couch. It was a whole project. It was kind of fun. I mean, we did it together. It was kind of good. But now Rosie can sneak underneath the couch in the living room. It's not a problem. So
that's nice though. I'm sure that's pretty nice for you guys.
It's really nice. I mean, if you run them every day, it actually works pretty well. The floors are pretty clean. So
yeah, that's nice. Good for you guys.
Yeah, well, I'll try to set it up so they text you in the middle of your night when they're finished their job. Get a message from Mr. French and Rosie. All right, guys. All right. It's always good to talk to you. It's a huge boost to my mood to hear your voice.
Same here. I really look forward to these each week.
Yeah. Me too. Someday someone will be listening,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you know when it happens. Okay. I'm really proud of you guys. Always learn something.
Thank you. Love you, Dad.
Thanks for spending time with me. I love you too. You guys take care.
All right. Thanks, Dad.
See ya. Bob, talk to you on Tuesday, and we'll do this again next weekend.
All right. Sweet.
Good.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.